Hi, my name's Megan, and I am in the process of getting ready for my fourth Camino, and I thought I would show you how I spray my gear with permethrin to avoid bed bugs while staying in an albergue. Here's some facts about permethrin that you should know before you start working with it. The chemical name is permethrin. It's made by a bunch of manufacturers. The most famous one here in the States, at least, that I'm aware of is Sawyer. Comes in the yellow bottle. Permethrin comes in a couple different forms. It comes in the trigger spray, which is what I have. This is 24 fluid ounces. And Sawyer says that this will treat up to 4 outfits, and that includes a t-shirt, pants, and socks. That bottle cost me about $16.95 US, which seems to be about the middle of the road. I've seen it for as low as $10 for 24 fluid ounces and as much as $29.95. You can find it at just about any outdoor shop. So I've seen it at LL Bean, I've seen it at Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, I've seen it in Walmart in their outdoor section. I haven't seen it at Target yet, but that's mostly due to the fact that I don't have a Target near me yet, unfortunately. You can, of course, also get it on Amazon, and I'll provide the link down below to what I use. It also comes in an aerosol form, which is a smaller can, and if I recall correctly, the can can treat 2 complete outfits. How long does permethrin last? Once you apply it to your gear, it lasts for about 42 days or goes through 6 washings, including the dryer. So depending on which Camino you're doing, as long as you're doing most of them, if you treat your gear beforehand, you should be fine. In regards to washing and drying, the best, of course, is to hand wash your gear. If you use a commercial machine, the agitation of the drum will break down the permethrin faster from your gear. Same thing with a commercial dryer. If it's best to air dry it. So ideally hand wash and air dry. A few other things to know about permethrin is that once it dries, it is completely odorless. It won't smell at all. The other great thing about permethrin is that once you apply it to your fabric and it dries, it's not going to harm it in any way. It won't stain it. It won't discolor it. It won't inhibit the waterproofness. So you can certainly apply it with full confidence, knowing that your gear is going to perform just as well with permethrin as it did before you applied it. When you apply permethrin, you want to make sure you're doing it, of course, outside in a well-ventilated space. And if you are doing it outside on a very low wind day, you don't want it to be too breezy. You don't want to inhale permethrin. So it's essential that you keep it in a still area. Some folks will do it inside of a garage. They pop the door open and string up some line and hang their gear up. Permethrin in its wet form, and when I say its wet form, in its bottle and as it's drying, can be toxic to cats. So that's something you want to be mindful of when you're applying to your gear. It is also toxic to bees in its wet form. So you want to not spray directly onto bushes where there might be flowering plant. Permethrin is also in its wet form harmful to aquatic life, specifically fish and frogs. Now, permethrin, once it's dried and it's bonded to the fabric, it can absolutely go into the water just fine. Fly fishermen use this all the time. It's when it's in its true wet form before it's had a chance to adhere to the fabric is where it's dangerous to the aquatic life. Let's talk about the gear that I am going to be treating today, just to give you a size reference. I have a 34-liter backpack. It does have a trampoline-style suspended mesh back that I certainly do treat. I have a twin size or a single silk sleeping bag liner with a pillowcase. That's probably about 6 feet long. I will also be treating my 2 stuff sacks. So in the orange bag, which is about 9 liters, that's where I keep my spare clothes. And then the blue stuff sack is where I keep my sleeping system. So my towel will fit in there, my gray sleeping bag liner will fit in there, and miscellaneous like my earplugs and my eye mask. Other gear I use to make it a little easier to spray is I like to use coat hangers. For my pack, I use a wooden, for lack of a better term, jacket hanger. It tends to be a little more substantial, has wider shoulders. My bag, it's not an ultralight bag by any means. It's not the heaviest out there, but it does weigh about 3.5 pounds. So a standard plastic coat hanger wouldn't cut it. And then to treat my sleeping bag liner, I like to use pant hangers, specifically the ones that have clips. And these coat hangers I also like because they all, for the most part, all swivel. So that way I can spin everything really easily to make sure I'm being thorough and getting all sides rather than having a fixed coat hanger. So before we get to spraying my gear, just want to let you know that while this is the bottle I have, I've used it a little too vigorously and the trigger spray has broken. So I've ended up pouring what I have into this small bottle, which is about 8 fluid ounces. So just to give you an idea of size and how much I use, it was probably about 6 fluid ounces full when I started. So, all right, let me show you how I get to spraying my gear. And that's it. It was pretty easy. To spray my gear, it took about less than 30 minutes to do everything, including setting up and taking down. I left my gear out for 2 hours to dry, and then it's good. It's ready for my next Camino. So I hope this was helpful. If you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in below in the comments. And until next time, have a buen camino.